I catch myself sometimes trying to look and be like some of the women I see on IG. Don't lose yourself in this, because a lot of this stuff is really just smoke and mirrors. Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy our content. We're staying with the theme, you guys. We're still going to answer. We're going to be answering another email. I feel like this is the best way to knock them out. Yeah. We can knock them out. So here we go. So this is from a subscriber. Her name's Elle. I like that name. That's one of my favorite names, Elle. Anyways, she says, "Hi ladies, I'm in my 20s and I sometimes think women in my age group are a slave to social media. I think we would all be better off if social media didn't exist or was limited. I catch myself sometimes trying to look and be like some of the women I see on IG. I can admit I've overused the filters myself from time to time. Do either one of you think social media is unhealthy? By the way, your content is very helpful." Elle. Thanks. Thank you so much, Elle. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're getting something out of it. She said she's in her 20s, you guys. So that's we like the girls in their 20s because we feel like we're contributing to the youth in some way. So, but yeah, so social media. Kara and I were talking about this earlier, and we didn't grow up with social media. You know, we're in our 40s, so we didn't grow up with this whole social media thing. I mean, I feel like it was kind of good that we didn't. Yeah. Because the younger people don't even go through that awkward stage. You know, like the bad makeup stage and all that. You had everyone has to look perfect, you know, like immediately. You said that the women in your age group, or would you say in your age group, are slave to social media. And I gotta be honest with you, Elle. It's not just your age group. I'm gonna be real honest with you. There are a lot of women that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, that are also doing the most on their Instagrams and stuff too. So what happens is on Instagram you see all these perfect bodies, you know, the women are perfectly put together, everyone's driving around their Lamborghinis, they got the Birkin bags, you know, and a lot of that stuff, y'all don't understand though, or some of y'all do know this, but you know, a lot of stuff they rent. You can rent a Chanel bag, you can rent all of that stuff and just for like the day and give it back. I was watching Kev on Stage, and he was his podcast, and he was saying that there's a service that's provided where you can rent time to stand in front of a jet, or like a private plane. Yeah, you can rent time just to stand in front and just like pose with it, and just like that pretend that's your plane. I don't think there is any difference between my generation. There's not. And the new gen. This is what 20-year-olds do. It is. I mean, when I was younger, it was something else. It was something else, yeah. You know what I mean? It was magazine covers, album covers. I mean, all young people are trying to figure out who they are. And part of that is insecurity. Insecurity is, that's why, you know, we always talk about getting married in your 20s and things. That's why I don't believe in it, because I feel like a lot of it is trying to figure out who you are, and you are very insecure until you're not. Yeah. So there's a lot of the only thing is now that people, you know, you can doctor photos, and that was something we didn't have back then. But back then we were still push-up bras, all of it, makeup, you know, doing the most. I mean, that is what girls do when they're in their early 20s. They try to be like whatever's popular. Right. We didn't see, when we were younger, we didn't have like a platform like that. So like you're probably referring to like the mega, because once you put a picture out there, it's to the world, so everyone could see you. When we were younger, we put a picture out there, it was just like a picture we're held up in our, you know, yearbooks. It wasn't like we can just put it out there on social media and stuff. So yeah, I do see what you're saying, but I think that, you know, you said you're in your 20s. Don't be so stressed over all these people with these perfect bodies and perfect, you know, makeup and perfect, everything's so perfect. Don't be fooled by it, and don't get, you know what I mean, like you said you've even admitted that you overuse filters. We see this all the time, where, you know, we even have friends that have completely blurred out their entire face to where they don't even look real anymore. I don't want to look so different that when someone sees you in real life, you don't look like yourself.
I mean, you have to remember that because a lot of these celebrities don't look alike. They don't look like themselves when you meet them. And I lived in New York. I met and saw a lot of celebrities, and they don't look like their pictures. Most of them have a ton of makeup on their face. They look like different, and it's just because with lighting and corrections on cameras. I mean, like I said, Dove did a whole commercial a few years ago about this, where they just took a regular woman and they made her a billboard outside. And they just wanted to show.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, they just wanted to show exactly what celebrities do. Now we can do what celebrities do. We can fix things.
Well, that's the thing.
Right. So, but what they were trying to do with that is to show you that the magazine covers and the celebrities, they don't look like that either in real life. And you know what I mean? They fix everything. They fix the lighting, the hair, the makeup, the angular face. They can stretch your neck and make it look like it's longer than it is. And we can do that now.
Yeah. We have access to
right.
it now. I understand people editing their pictures. Like, editing your lighting, which is a lot of what I do. If I ever edit a picture, it's usually my lighting.
I only edit the lighting.
Yeah, the lighting
because the lighting does make a difference. Because sometimes when you take a picture of yourself, you don't look like yourself.
Right.
Because the lighting changes shadows where your hair is. It's making shadow on your face or underneath your eye. Then you really don't. The lighting will change it and make it look like what you really look like. So the lighting's fine. Or sometimes there's just a picture where it looks really good. It's just one little imperfection that now you can fix, which is great. It's a picture that's salvaged. So say you want to take a picture for Facebook, you don't have to go and take a whole nother one.
Yeah.
You could just tweak one little thing. I'm not a picture person, so that works for me. Because I don't want to sit here and take a lot of pictures. There are a lot of people that I know that are in their 40s that take pictures every single day. And that is what they do. You know what I mean? I can't say that, I think that there is something a little desperate about that.
Overdoing the...
Oh, no, just in general. I don't think you take pictures of yourself every day
that's what you're saying.
To get feedback. There is something desperate to me about that. And there's also, like you need some sort of approval. And there's, there are people who say it just depends on the person. But, like I know there are people who put a ticker tape of pictures of themselves every day. I'm like, why do you need to do that every single day? When I was younger, I had a huge insecurity problem. I did not feel good at all about myself. You know what I mean? On every aspect. I mean, there was not one thing I could tell you that was good about me. Ever. You know what I mean? And as you get older, you learn more about yourself. And that's what I'm saying. I think when you're in your 20s, you always kind of feel this way. If it wasn't Instagram, it would be something else. You will always kind of feel this way. But as you get older, you have to learn to accept yourself. And sometimes these things where you try to alter yourself or try to be somebody else, it kind of is a jab to who you are. You know what I mean? Eventually, you're going to have to accept kind of who you are and like it.
Yeah.
Because the more that you do stuff like that, where you fix pictures and you put too many up, or you're trying to outdo a girl that you don't even know on Instagram or something like that, it just says I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I have to be enough. And if you do that too many times, it becomes who you are.
Yeah, then you don't know how. Then it's hard to go back to your real self.
Right.
It's hard because then you now not only have you identified yourself as now this new altered person, you've now identified yourself to the world as that person too. So now you're afraid. You know what I mean? Like if you take it too far, you're gonna be afraid to meet people in person.
So when you turn the camera off and you don't look like your picture,
yes, what I'm saying,
it makes you feel bad about you because you wish you looked like what you fixed. Like you'll be looking at yourself like I wish I looked like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you'll start to eventually feel that way. And then everything will be, this is why women get excessive plastic surgery. I have to tell you, I'm 44, I'll be 45 in another month or so. And there are women my age that get all kinds of surgeries to look like girls your age.
Right.
And you will never, I look at women all the time that are my age doing the same thing, where they make their eyes extra big because that looks youthful, or they make their eyelashes look really big because that's youthful, or they shave their face down really thin because that makes you look younger, or they put too much light, or like Danielle said, smooth their skin out. And then eventually those women see themselves as I wish I were younger. And you'll never be any younger than you are right now. So you have to be happy where you are all the time, no matter what that age group is. You know, I have to look at myself in the mirror, and I'm fine at, you know, turning 45, I'm fine with the way that I look. Now, I couldn't have said that in my 20s.
You know, and after talking, after conversing with you a little bit on our email, you said you found us through one of our Freestyle Fridays. So she saw us through one of there. So when we did Freestyle Fridays, it was mostly just skincare, hair, makeup, that kind of thing. So she's seen us in the raw. Right, so she's just like, I don't even know how you guys have it, you know. She complimented us, you know, because we are in our 40s. So, but she's like, it'd be hard for me to even go outside like without makeup and stuff like that. And the fact that you guys can do an entire video, it was like 50 of them, which are, you know, every Friday at that time, you know. I'm like, because, you know, when you get, like Kara was saying, when you get older, you should at least start to come into your own. You know, you start to feel better about yourself. You don't, you know, makeup, no makeup, it doesn't really matter to me. So why we were able to get on our Freestyle Friday just makeup free is because we feel good about who we are without makeup. We don't need it. You don't either. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like there's a part of you that's insecure is what it is, and so you're putting that out there. That you know. So when you see people on Instagram, you're thinking, well, I'll never look at these girls. I'll never look like these people. Well, they don't look like them. Right. They don't look like them. So don't be fooled. I think the only thing is don't be fooled. But like Kara was saying, when you get older, like I feel like when you're in the 20s, you're right. It's like you do have this insecurity. I remember being in my 20s. I used to wear makeup every single day. I used to, you know what I mean? Like I never felt great about myself. I just think that it's just like you coming into your own, in addition to having to deal with this social media world too. So you're having to try to balance those two things out. Because you said, you know, you like taking pictures and stuff, and which is fine. You know, Kara and I, you know, we talked to you a little bit about this, but because you notice that we don't take a lot of, Kara don't take a lot of pictures. I don't even want to be on camera. Yeah, Kara and I are not really. I mean, if I could be never on camera, if we could do this we could do a podcast without showing us. I would totally be okay with that. I would too. Originally, it's what I was wanting to do, just like a podcast. That's kind of what I was wanting to do. But I'm totally fine with not taking a picture every day. So like if you see our social media, it's like even our personal ones, our Convos social medias, they really are just clips of the show. We don't feel the need to. And there's nothing wrong. There's not. No matter what you do in life, and whether it's plastic surgery, taking pictures, fixing your picture, it's always not that you're doing it. It's the why you're doing it. Everything is why. There's nothing wrong with plastic surgery. It depends on why you're doing it. You know what I mean? If you're doing it because you're trying to please people, then that's not a reason to do it. If you're doing it because you feel like you can look a little better because you've already been working on yourself and you already feel good about yourself and you just want that extra thing, then that's fine too. If you want to take a picture, you know, daily, then I guess that would be okay. But when you're doing stuff every single day to get feedback, or fixing pictures just because, and only you can know that. No one can tell you that. If you're putting pictures out and you know you're only putting them out because you're trying to look as good as some girl that you don't know on Instagram, you know what I mean? Or you're trying to get men to like your pictures the way some other girl got a lot of likes did. You know what I mean? You know, then it can get to you, and you have to be careful about that because it takes a lot out of it. We talk a lot about, you know, dating, and a lot of women date with this insecure feeling, and men, there are a lot of men out there that can take advantage of you if they think you don't feel good about yourself. Right. You know, you got to be careful about how you come across in the world, and every time you do something, you have to ask yourself why you're doing it. This is going to take them growing to do, but you know, you also mentioned to us that you want to start dating and stuff, and a lot of dating is done through, as you mentioned, online dating. Well, they say 30% of people date. It's a lot. It's a lot. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because you have to be really careful with altering your pictures if you're going to be dating online, because you catfish. Because you don't want to be conversing with a man. This is why a lot of people go ahead and do like FaceTime or Duo or whatever. You know, they talk. They want to see you, you know, because people right now are meeting each other online, social media mostly. So all people are getting is the highlight reels of their look in their life. So you don't want to be altering the hell out of your pictures, and then you meet somebody and then you see them in person and they're like, you know, that's not what I thought. You know, I actually, because I've met two people online and then met them in person. Right. And the first thing that both of them said was, "Oh my God, thank God you look like your picture." And I'm like, I asked the guy before, I was like, "Well, why?" I said, "Is this a problem?" He said, "Yeah, no, when I meet the women, they don't look anything like what their picture is. People have to stop altering their picture."
I mean, men do it too. There are men who put
men do it too. Yeah,
there are men that put older pictures, younger pictures of themselves, because men don't really alter. But they'll put like a picture of when they were 30, when they're 40 now, and so then they look older.
And
you know what I mean? Because
they think that 10 years is not going to be noticeable. But it is.
So I mean, it's best to always be yourself.
Yeah.
Like I always say, I want people to like me for me, not for my representation. I'd rather people not like me for who I am than like me for who I'm really not. So if I put a picture up and a guy just doesn't, like, say I am trying to get and a guy just doesn't like the way I look, then that is fine with me.
Yeah.
Because at least now I know.
You said you also noticed another part of your question was, I think we would all be better off if social media didn't exist. So now here's why I kind of disagree with this. Because social media has changed people's lives. So the part of social media that's great is a part where people can start their own businesses. You can connect to people you haven't seen in years. You know what I mean? You can meet the love of your life. There's a part of social media that is great and it works really well. That's not toxic, and you can use it to your benefit. I mean, a lot of people who have lost their jobs now found a way to not, to found a different avenue to get work. And like I said, finding relationships and friends that you hadn't seen in forever. So I don't think it shouldn't exist. I think that people should have a healthier relationship with social media, and that's the problem. The problem is not necessarily social media, although it's not perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it could be better, but really, if you control it, if you can control the way that you are on social media, nothing needs to not exist.
Never say though that you wish something didn't exist.
Yeah,
because I think that what I've learned over the years is that the thing that you wish didn't happen is here to teach you something.
Yeah,
that is about yourself. You know what I mean? I wish there was no homelessness, but there's a reason for it. I know it sounds crazy, but there is a reason for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So whenever you go through something and it just makes you feel that way, this is just in general advice. Don't wish it didn't exist. Just understand why it bothers you.
Right.
Or why why you feel like you wish that. Because the world, you don't change you change the world through if you look at something through a different perspective, the world looks different.
It does say something about you if you have to not only just alter pictures of how you look physically. It does say something about you when you have to pretend that you're in a life that you're not in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really deep.
Well, right,
That's deep.
Like we were saying how, like, I was telling Danielle the other day. Actually, we were talking about how even when people write on social media, like, when people are overly, because it's an outlet for people to not only look different, but then they're overly confident. People personally are not as confident as they are online, but they want people to think that they're grinding more than they're doing. They want everybody to think they have more than they have. They want everybody to think they're so accomplished and they're so confident. And I can see through that.
Yeah.
You can see most people, and you know who the people are on your social media that do that all the time. People have an outlet now, and you find out a lot of times that a lot of people are very lonely and they don't get enough attention in real life. And so they have an outlet now to go and try to get a ton of attention.
Right.
And so, that is a downside to it. But also, when I look at people like that, I think it shows me when you should dial it back. Or, like, this is how they come off. If you do that, that doesn't look too good. You know what I mean? Like, you start thinking things like that. Well, that doesn't look
when
too
you
good.
sit with yourself and see,
right.
Because with the after effects of it, once you see, I always wonder if people sometimes when they come to, and, they realize, look at their whole timeline, just the history of their timeline. But I wonder if people who are just been faking their life, like, for a few years, and look at their timeline, seeing all the lies, basically living the lie, Do
you know how many people I run into at the store?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Nothing like what they portray on, Facebook and Instagram. They are most of them are insecure, quiet. Because you would think some of these people talk a lot and that they're just quiet and they're a shell of a person than they normally are.
Like, we've bumped into people before in the store,
and they're just not the same. You know what I mean?
And Kara and I always
just look at each other
we're
like,
wow. Kara, because we're not twins, but we have this telepathic where we just know what each other's thinking.
We're best friends, so we see each other a certain way.
Whenever I see someone faking it, Like, I know you're not telling the truth. We just look at each other like, dude, girl, you ain't who you were. I mean, you were not act like that.
And it could be that they're embarrassed that they.
It could be.
It could be that they're embarrassed that they act like that, and,
Yeah.
and then you know them.
That's true.
And then now they have to come to their real self.
Yeah.
They know that you saw them acting a different way. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's just like, that's the reason why I am the way I am. I'm not a shy person, but I'm just not a person that I can be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And to myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Some people would say, oh, that's boring. Well,
But you're not lying about
but
it.
I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that, then don't be around me, because I only talk when I have something to say.
Right.
If I don't have anything to say, then I'm just,
Kara
I'm
doesn't-
not
she doesn't
into,
talk. Yeah. That's interesting.
running my mouth all the time. You know what I mean? But for some people, that is just personality. That is what they do. But I don't go on Facebook and then try to act like something I'm just not. I rarely go on Facebook, because to me, social media to me has just gotten boring. Everybody
Right.
does the same thing. Everybody takes the same car picture.
Or doing a dance.
Everybody's doing like a girlfriend boyfriend dance on.
Exactly.
I mean, after a while, that stuff just is lame to me. You know what I mean? But not to everybody, obviously, because everybody's
Love
doing
it.
it. But to me, it's just lame, boring, and I'm really 100% over it. You know what I mean? So when I do go on Facebook or things like that, it just, I look at the first like 10 posts, and then I'm like, okay, bored.
But I know, like, you asked us about, we don't put a lot of stuff up on our social media. We're just not, like we said, we're just not into it in that way. Isn't that funny that we decided to have a YouTube channel, but we're not into, like, our Instagram
Yeah, I mean,
and stuff?
YouTube
Like,
is just like a show we do. So
Yeah.
I really like the fact that we can
just
kind
talk and
of
stuff,
talk about
yeah.
issues and things.
Right.
That's something I am for. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because I think that conversation is a big deal. You
think
need
it's
to have
important.
more conversation.
well,
Yeah.
because you have conversations
Yeah.
like this, and they can maybe help somebody.
Yeah.
This is a young lady, obviously. She's noticing something.
You got to be very careful about trying to emulate and doing too much, doing like the most on these platforms, because it will begin to eat at you.
The people that you are looking at, almost 10 times out of 10, but 9 times out of 10, that is not what they look like.
Right.
At least 9 times out of 10. That is not what they look like. There are some alterations to some things.
I mean, I'm just trying to say, I mean, these are beautiful women. I remember we watched an episode of Dr. Phil, and a girl wanted to look like Jessica Simpson. Her boyfriend was worried about her because she wanted to get surgery done to look just like her, because she loved her pictures, her videos, and all of that. And Dr. Phil knew her because she was from Texas, and so was he, and they met up at one point.
Right.
And they ran into each other at one point when she was in Houston or Dallas or something. And he told the girl, he was like, I saw Jessica Simpson in person. She's a beautiful girl, but you wouldn't be able to pick her out of a crowd. And that is absolutely true. Because if you've seen Beyonce, Rihanna, all these people, Cardi B, and you see them with absolutely no makeup on, they're beautiful people. Really, if you saw them without anything, they would look like most women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because me and Danielle used to be makeup artists in New York.
Right.
And I can see it. You know what I mean? You can see it when someone starts with nothing, and then you give them makeup and hair, and then you put lighting.
Yeah.
Then everybody looks like a famous person. You know what I mean? We can all do that, and that's what all this photoshopping has really done. It's shown everybody they can look like their favorite.
Yeah.
Celebrity.
And it might be because we were behind the scenes at one
Right.
point, making those people look a certain way. So it's kind of like, okay, we can see the process of what. So that's what I'm saying. Don't lose yourself in this, because a lot of this stuff is really just smoke and mirrors. My suggestion, I feel like, would be, to maybe take a social media hiatus for like a week. Like, sometimes people do this. Like, I feel like that'd be a good, like, challenge for you. Maybe just, I don't know if not get on there.
You should unplug.
Unplug. I should have said that. Unplug, because I feel like that's going to help you get kind of back to being centered and figure out who you are and be able to not just be so caught up in looks and stuff like that.
Don't get caught. Don't get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
That is true. Sometimes you do have to unplug and drown the noise.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't look like they look, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with looking average.
There's not.
Because when you put makeup on, you can look. Once you put a little makeup on and hair, we all can look above average. You know what I'm saying? Even when people are saying average at best, when they were saying stuff like this, there's nothing wrong with that.
There really isn't.
I look average at best. I'm okay with that because I know when I put makeup on, I don't feel average anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Give me, let me curl, pump my hair up and get my curls looking really,
Most people, without being dolled up, and even men too, You know what I mean? Like if you didn't, you know, if you have a beard and you didn't brush out your beard, or you didn't get your fades, or whatever your hair, you know, if you have locks and you didn't lock you can look a mess too. You'd be average.
Everybody
average too.
can look average at best.
Me without makeup.
Don't get so upset. You know, when you see people who have like a flat stomach and then you have a little bit of. But most people have that.
Yeah,
most people have that, and even these people that you see on TV, they do too. It's just been airbrushed out.
Yeah.
They have scars that you don't see. They have stretch marks because they've had kids. I mean, you got to be
human.
secure.
Yeah, you have to be secure with who you are. I think there's a little bit of insecurity there, and it's fine because you're in your 20s and it happens. But the good part about all of this is that you are recognizing it, and a lot of people won't until later. So you're recognizing something about yourself. You recognize that you maybe over filter your pictures, and you're noticing you're doing a lot.
Right.
You're noticing that you're thumbing through, you know, your feed, and you're seeing all of these beautiful women. And let me tell you, there are a lot of gorgeous women out there, you know, and I see where you're coming from, but look, don't think there's some, you know, they're way above you in any way. All right. They're just doing their thing. Right. So,
and believe me, as you get older, if you don't get a hold of that.
Oh yeah.
Because when you age, like Danielle's going to be 44, I'm going to be 45. And if you don't get a hold of that, by the time you get to our age, you will really not like yourself because it doesn't get any better. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, I mean, I'm not putting myself down, but I'm telling you that, you know, look, everything starts to fall as you get older.
It does.
Everything, your breasts still start to fall. You know, your skin is not as tight and plump as it used to be. You get your skin, under your eyes starts to, that's why, you know, we're really big on skincare.
That's why we did those.
I don't drink and I don't smoke and I try to keep a good attitude because I know that stuff will change you facially.
I'll be trying to tell you. I'll be trying to tell you. Whenever I bump into a young girl and she's like, oh, you know, how your skin looks really nice, you know, because I don't wear makeup. I only wear makeup for the show. In my everyday life, I don't really wear makeup at all. I don't make it. I don't wear it. It's just a lot of work to do, right? So, when outside of this show, we really do not wear any makeup. But people, young ladies your age, ask me all the time, oh, how your skin looks like that, you know. I'm like, girl, do you smoke? Do you drink? Are you partying all the time? Because I tell you right now, that is going to wear you out. And when you get right into your 30s, late 30s, and you're in your 40s, and you've been smoking and drinking and partying, no, it's not gonna look good on your skin.
That don't feel so bad. Don't take it too seriously.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. But I'm telling you, try to take a little bit of a hiatus from social media for a minute.
I'm not going to get lost in somebody else's beauty and not acknowledge your own. You know what I mean? So, but I only think you can do that if you actually feel like you're okay. And the only way you're going to be okay is if you just believe it.
So, Elle, thank you so much for the question. Tell us what you think about that. Take that hiatus. I'm telling you, you're going to be happy about it. You'll feel better. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you think about the whole social media. Is it in the looks and the lifestyle, the lavish stuff that everyone's doing? Is it over the top at this point? Because I feel like it might be a little bit over the top. But anyways, comment below, let us know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Everybody have a really good day. Bye.